Welcome back again. You're still watching us here on Nile International as we take you to the coverage regarding the U.S. presidential elections that is currently ongoing and the voting stations that have started in a couple of hours ago in the U.S. and to shed more light on how the voting process is going so far and the turnout and the different polling stations. We're joined over the phone by journalist Farag Jareh from the United States of America. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Now, I think they just opened the polls a couple of hours ago. It's a working day today in the United States of America. How can you describe generally the turnout for the votings today so far?
Actually, the votes or the electoral offices have been open since 3 or 4 hours, especially in the eastern states, where voters showed up in big numbers in support of either of the candidates, whether Donald Trump from the Republican Party or Hillary Clinton from the Democratic one. The elections starting today, and especially in the states that they do not have the early vote, which is a process for states that provide the nationals in each state to vote early, a week or 10 days before the election day, which is today. So we saw the last hour the Republican or the Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton giving her vote, and also her deputy Tim Kaine also gave his vote in his town in Virginia. We also witnessed Joe Biden, the deputy of the Barack Obama, giving his vote, and he also gave his vote to the Democratic candidate, Hillary Clinton. He asked the supporters, the voters, and U.S. nationals to vote for Hillary. And the same thing, we saw the supporters of Trump showing up in big numbers in different states. The campaign now is intense. Everybody is trying to gain as much votes as possible. And the candidate needs at least 270 votes or tickets from the representatives of each state to win the elections. This is so far the situation in general, and also a quick poll by CBS showed that the Republican candidate Donald Trump is leading off by 32 points for him against Hillary Clinton, who got 25 points in a few towns in the state of New Hampshire.
Yes, that was exactly what I was going to ask you, sir, because the early voting, according to Bloomberg, have given preliminary results that should suggest that Hillary Clinton is succeeding Trump by 3 points. So today we're seeing that equation a little bit different. So you're saying that in certain areas, Trump is actually succeeding Hillary Clinton. So are we expecting anything unexpected throughout the rest of the day in the results? Meaning that any preliminary reports or any counts so far are not true, and does not mean that there is going to be a certain winner over the other. We have to wait until the end of the day before it's clear, right?
And that's the case. That's the case for sure. We cannot give like any final results or see any final results until the end of the day, or at least the last few hours of the day. For the early voting, it is just a small percentage of the voters who gave their vote in the early voting. We know that the early voting is available only in 37 states, not on the whole 50 states. Same thing with the results showing I mentioned now in New Hampshire. It is just small towns in New Hampshire. And the big states, Florida and Ohio, that are in the middle between the two parties, have not finished yet. So we need more hours. I mean, we still need more hours to give like the general results, or at least 50% or 70% of the voters will give their vote.
Yes,
by that time, we can give more accurate and more reliable results.
Yes. Now, sir, regarding the youth or the younger generations, are they participating? Are they contributing in the political life? What about their turnout in terms of an estimated percentage? Because it's very important to know what the younger generations are looking for, if they are interested in politics, and if they are interested in who will be running the United States of America after President Obama.
For the American youth, since the beginning of this campaign for this election, we saw each camp choosing the young supporters to lead their campaign. For Hillary Clinton, the head of her campaign is considered to be one of the youth of the country. The same thing with Trump, and both of them have been using youth in their campaigns and targeting youth in universities and schools, and also in concerts, using celebrities and singers, actors, and actresses to support them in order to gather or to get the vote of the youth. This is in general, but if we talk in more details, the American youth is not so happy with these both candidates. There's a recent poll or recent study made by CBS showed that 1 in every 4 American youth is not happy with elections and prefer another candidate who quit the race a long time ago. They were not happy, and most of the voters from the youth are voting for one candidate because he is or she is less worse than the other. They are not the perfect candidates.
Yes, and that's why I'm interested also to know from you. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, sir, but that's why I'm also interested to know from you about the fact that these two candidates in particular, we do know that they're representing two different political parties, and these two different parties, whether they're the Democrats or the Republicans, they have their own agenda. However, these two candidates, I mean, from the statements that have been made, even the different runoffs, that speeches and debates, public debates that they've had, gives this impression that there are two different ideologies. They have two different contradicting images and plans for the future of the United States of America. So what does this, or how does this reflect on the ground between the American citizens? Are they in the United States as a community very different and opposite in opinions and school of thoughts in general?
What makes this elections unprecedented and different from most of the elections we have seen so far in the past years is that both candidates come from completely different backgrounds. Whether the Democratic candidate, she's a woman, if she wins, she will be the first woman in the whole in the whole elections, or for Mr. Trump, who is a businessman coming from a business and economy background. He doesn't have that much experience in politics. For Hillary Clinton, she's completely different from him. She has very big experience in foreign policies, whether working as in the Department of State, or working or being a first lady, or before that a Senate.
Very well.
Time ago, or even a lawyer.
Yes, definitely, very well. Mr. Farag Al-Jareh, thank you very much. Journalists who joined us from the United States of America, thank you very much for joining us and for your insight.